was off work 2 years before I actually finished work, and in those 2 years I didn't go out an awful lot. It certainly eats away at your confidence.
Being diagnosed with a long-term condition like COPD can be overwhelming. It can be tempting to do less with your time and stay at home because it feels easier. But really, it's more important than ever to make sure you continue to fill your time and have an active social life.
I didn't want people to see me ill. It was only with the support of family and friends that gradually we started to, if you like, step outside the front door. I went to Breathe Easy. I can recall being extremely anxious before I went in this room, but I did go to the next one. So gradually I felt more comfortable with it, and I began to relax, and I got involved. Looking back, I wish I'd taken those first steps straight away.
Breathe Easy is a network of support groups run by the British Lung Foundation for people living with lung conditions and those who care for them.
I've just got a couple of questions, and then you can come back to me.
Your local group is a great place to find people who understand what it's like, to get support and information, and a good opportunity to meet people socially.
Breathe Easy supports everybody. It supports your family as well. Get into your support groups, get friends with people who have got it.
I mean, it's out there. All this help is out there.
Yes.
It's just people have just got to go and get it.
Most people I come across who try and get out, socialise and do normal things benefit from it. And there's always people willing to help. Sometimes you've got to be big enough to ask.
Our patients always tell us that after they've done pulmonary rehab, getting out, getting to the classes, doing some exercise really helps lift their mood.
One of the benefits of doing the exercises is the social side of life. Every class I do, I meet different people. Tai Chi is really, really beneficial for people who have lung conditions of any sort, because it doesn't make you breathless. It never makes you breathless. It makes your muscles and it tenses your muscles, but it doesn't make you breathless, which means you can carry on doing it for hours. If you live on your own, it can be a very lonely life. So go out, meet people.
Self-management doesn't mean that you're on your own. It can be difficult sometimes, and having a strong support network can be a great help. Isolating yourself will make you feel worse, and there is loads of help available, if you know where to look for it. Continuing to take part in activities and meeting people who understand what you're going through is a good way to stay positive. Your local Breathe Easy group is a good place to start. The British Lung Foundation helpline and website can tell you where and when your local Breathe Easy group meets and who to contact.
I used to get very depressed, and I suddenly realised that I've got COPD and I was letting it control my life. And my attitude was now is, I've got COPD, but COPD hasn't got me.
You make that change from being negative about the condition to trying to be as positive as you can be, both in what you do, how you conduct your life, how you think, how you feel, and how you interact with others, and how what you do affects others, because it does.
It's easy to forget that your condition affects not just you, but also those around you. Family, friends and carers are all vital to helping you cope with COPD, but they also need help and guidance in how to cope with the changes in their lives.
One of the biggest problems with somebody that has a lung condition is that the relatives become very, very concerned, and they want to do everything for her. It is very difficult for carers to know when to step in and help and when to just back off and let her get on with it.
It's important for them to still have a normal life and not to allow your illness to become their illness. And it's not an easy thing to come to terms with, because you normally find family care so much about you that They want to help you at every turn, to the point where they neglect their own life.
If you give up your time without pay to look after a family member, friend or neighbour, you are considered a carer. It's a hugely rewarding job, but can also be stressful and demanding. As a carer, you should know that you have rights and there is support available to you. Make sure your GP knows that you are a carer and speak to your local council and social service teams about any help available. The British Lung Foundation can also help with Breathe Easy, pen pal services and their web community. You may even be entitled to benefits, depending on your circumstances. Having COPD can be difficult for people, and as a carer you may occasionally be on the receiving end of some of their frustration.
I can be extremely short at times, whether it's the COPD itself or all that goes with it, the anxiety, the frustration, you know, and sometimes it does get to you. You say things to those who are dearest to you that you shouldn't say.
So if you're a carer, it's really important that you look after yourself as well. So you need the support networks in place, people who can help you, who you can ring up at any time of the day or night and say, I'm really stuck, can you help me? If you haven't got some support networks like that, there are organisations available.
Remember, your family, friends and carers can also be affected by your COPD. Work together to ensure you all receive the help you need. And if you are a carer, remember, you need support too. Make yourself known to doctors, the council and other people who can help. Use the British Lung Foundation and its networks to find support and meet other carers. If you have a chronic condition, you're more likely to experience anxiety and depression. It's important to be aware of the signs and to know how to get help.
Anxiety is a real physical thing. It's not made up, it's not all in your head, you're not going mad. It's a real physical disorder, and teaching the patient to be able to regain control is part of the self-management plan. So if you can use some breathing control techniques to cope with your anxiety, that's the best way for you to regain control.
So I go into a little breathing routine of thinking, being calm. I don't close my eyes, but I stay very focused on what it is I'm doing and try and calm it down. And it's happened in different places at different times.
If your depression or your low mood is just transient, so it's just for one day, once in a while, that's just low mood. It's not depression. Depression is where it's affecting your activities on a daily basis for most of the day.
If you think that you are depressed, it is really worthwhile talking to the GP, because there are a load more services out there now that can help people with anxiety and depression. So there might be sort of cognitive behavioural therapy approaches, which are kind of like talking approaches, but they help you address the negative thoughts that you might be having. And cognitive behaviour therapy is really effective for depression in patients with COPD.
Having COPD makes you more likely to suffer from anxiety or depression. It's important to know the signs of depression and seek help if you're feeling low on a regular basis. Whether it's medication, breathing techniques or cognitive behavioural therapy, don't struggle alone. There is help available to combat the effects of anxiety and depression. Talk to your doctor for more information and to establish what might work best for you. Maintaining a positive frame of mind is a really important part of living with COPD. If you feel good mentally, you're in a much better position to handle your physical feelings.
I've got a lot of good things in my life and a lot of good people. And the last thing they want to do is come and see me and I'm down in the dumps feeling sorry for myself. I love being busy. I love the hustle and bustle of my life.
Hey, are you ready? You got your lunchbox? Yeah.
John and I have always loved air dancing, and we don't see any reason not to continue. It's something that we love doing together. We started with Old Time back in the 50s, and that's where I met John. He came to join the Old Time Dance Club where I was dancing already. So, went from there.
Well, there was a time when we did think of packing it up because I couldn't do it. And then when I got on oxygen, I was determined that I wasn't going to give it up. I mean, everybody where we go dancing knows that I'm on oxygen and nobody takes any notice at all. I mean, it's given me another lease of life, really, that at least I can still carry on with something that I enjoy.
I think the most important thing is to live a full life. Every solitary day, decide what you're going to do with that day and do it.
It's really good to laugh. That can really help your lungs. So it is very important and it does make you feel better.
And we watch lots of comedies.